Your opponent can't touch you! Hello and welcome to the table, and today I'm back with another One Piece gameplay Decktech video. Today talking about Jewelry Bonney, a red-yellow, wonderful, beautiful, liberated, Nikified deck that is a 5k, but on your opponent's turn, if you have 1 or less life, is a 7k. And as an activate main, you can give one of your opponent's characters minus 1k for the turn. And then, if you want to, and if you have 2 or less life, you can add the top card of your life to your hand. So this deck kind of wants to speed run to 1 life, so that it can be a 7k. But wait, there's more. Then every turn after, you want to play a Zoro or a Luffy, big old body, and now your leader's a 9k on your opponent's turn, and a 7k on your turn. Every turn, for the rest of the game. The deck's pretty solid and pretty fun and pretty broken and pretty stupid. And yes, it might look a little bit different than some lists if you look at it. We have typical searchers like Bonney or Greatest Mind. But we also have Nami and Sanji, which is weird because you don't have some of the goodies, classical goodies for the deck. Like Nami, the SR Nami from EBO3. You don't have Kuma's. You don't have the new Sanji from EBO4. It looks a little bit weird at first, but I think it functions way better than a normal list. Because the main point of Bonney, in my mind, is to get to 7 Dawn. You want to go first, get to 7 Dawn, play Zoro. Then every turn after, play either a Luffy, preferably, or Zoro. Every single turn to develop a giant body, and now your leader's a 9k, so the opponent can't swing into anything. Unless, their swing's a 9k, which is insane, because that just demands so much out of the opponent, it's insane. And having searchers to just ensure that you can get these so that you can do these every single turn, I think is pretty strong and pretty powerful, and justifies you running 16 searchers. So yeah, and all these searchers, by the way, can search for these, because these are both Egghead Straw Hat cards, which is awesome. But let's go over them. Bonney and Greatest Mind are the typical ones. Greatest Mind looking at the top 5 for an Egghead card. And then triggers to draw a card. Pretty solid. Can get pretty much anything in the deck. Jewelry Bonney can just get anything in the deck outside of this Bonney or herself. But it looks at the top 4 for a Straw Hat or Egghead card. And then gets it. Both are solid cards. Both are insane cards. But then Nami and Sanji are weirder ones. Nami, I could say, is fine because it's just another 1-cost searcher. Looks at the top 5 for a Straw Hat card. Yes, there are exclusively Egghead cards like Pacifista, like Sentomaru, like Greatest Mind, Distorted Future, Bonney, Borsellino. But for the most part, Nami is not going to miss. You have like 30 Straw Hat cards in the deck. You're not going to miss with this card. You're going to at least be able to get something like a 2k counter. Or a good counter event. And then with Sanji, it's kind of the same thing, except it's an actual threatening body. Yes, it's not as good as Nami. But here's the thing. Sanji is a 4-cost 5k, so on your even curve, which is not your preferred curve, but on your even curve, it's a nice card, because it can be a threatening body that can allow you to get some extra tempo against your opponent. It triggers to play itself. It can still search for one of the main things that you want. And Sanji costs $1, and Nami costs $30. So yes, Sanji is maybe slightly worse than Nami, but it allows you to more consistently get your endgame, and it costs way less. And it can trigger to play itself, which Nami can't do. Thank God. But yeah, Sanji's pretty solid too. Then you also want to be defensive, because, yeah, these big guys, when they do come down, you're going to be a 9k return, but you still want to have some good defense. For the earlier portions of the game to a point, and actually when you are a 9k leader, so you still have the ability to protect your board, to protect your life, because you're going to be at 1 life. You don't want to just have the opponent send a 15k at you and, oh, I still take it, or whatever. You still want to have some defense. Which is why we have Sanji, Pacifista, and Usopp. 10 2k counters. Sanji being a way to give out unblockable to your big boys near the end of the game. It's a solid card. It can't be searched by certain searchers, that being the Greatest Mind, which is why it's a 2 of, but it's still solid. We got Pacifista as a 1-cost 2k counter that's also a blocker sometimes, which is insane to me. And yeah, technically, there are more searchers that can't get this Pacifista than searchers that can't get Sanji, but I personally prefer Pacifista, which is weird to say because I love this Sanji. But yeah, this Pacifista is just so broken. But then you also got Usopp, which is just a 2k that triggers to give your leader a plus 2k until the end of your next turn. So it could be a potentially 11k. Or near the earlier portions of the game, maybe a 7 or 9k on your opponent's turn because you haven't played Zoro or Luffy out yet. Who knows? But yeah, it's just a super solid card. And it can be searched by anything in the deck, which is solid too. But then you got some good blockers in Sentomaru, which is just a chump blocker. But on block, if you have 2 or less life, you draw a card, which in my mind is insane. When I first saw this card, major disrespect. After playing it, major respect. This card's insane. It does so much work. It's a little weenie body, but it's just so annoying because it's just one extra little thing you have to deal with in order to kill Bonney, and it's just frustrating. But then you got Borsalino, because why would you not have Borsalino in this deck? But personally, I think it's fine in this deck. It was designed for this deck, and without Rayquaza, it's not as scummy, so I find it fine for this deck. It doesn't aggravate me as much, because normally I just pretend that this card's banned because I just don't think it's fair. But with Rayquaza gone, it's fine. But it's a 6k blocker that counters for 1. And on play, if you have 2 or less life, you heal 1. So it can be a good way to kind of, beef up your life a little bit in the earlier portions of the game so your opponent can't, get you down too low too quick. So that you can get to the 7 Zoro and then 9 Luffy, even though it's a 10 Luffy, I'll get to that in a second, without, you having too much pressure and then have the things happen on time in a way that you want it to or whatever. So yeah, it's a good card. It's a stupid good card. But then you got some good counter events in Destroyed Future and Heat Strike. Heat Strike being very common, it's basically a better 4k counter event. It counters for 2 on a leader character. Then if you have 1 or less life, you give a leader character minus 2k for the turn. So basically you can counter just 4 straight up, or 2 and then 2, which is nuts. It's like one of the best counter events in the entire game. And it triggers to draw a card. Like, I get that Gum Gum Giant receives a lot of hate because of just how broken of a counter event it is. But for this being a common, I would say this might be better in ways. I'm not saying it's better, period, in a sentence, but in ways, it's a better card, which is so crazy to say to me, but it is. But then there's Destroyed Future, which is a 1-cost 3k counter event for your leader, and sometimes, the main reason it's in the deck, for the main effect, if you have 2 or less life, you can give a character minus 3k for the turn. That's nice against an opposing Bonney deck, or more specifically, other decks that go super wide or super tall, like Lucy with the 9k Lucy or 9k Sabos. You want to be able to manage those, or something like Mihawk or Ace, decks that just go really tall and can actually threaten your board or your life pretty easily. Having this as a decent way to be able to manage their board just a little bit, it's nice. But then getting to the end game, we got Jewelry Bonney, which is a decent part of the end game. It's a nice card to have sometimes. That's why it's a 2 of. But it's a 9-cost 10k rush that burns the top of your opponent's life, which is insane. It deals a damage period, kind of, and then 10k rush. It's such a good closer. And then it can trigger to rest something sometimes, but that's not what matters. The fact that it can just be a really good closer is why it's in the deck as a 2 of. But the main part of the end game is Zoro and then Luffy. Zoro being the thing you play on 7. Again, you want to go first. So you play Zoro on 7. Your leader's now a 9k. 7k on your turn, then 9k on the opponent's turn. And it can sometimes get Character Rush if your opponent has an 8k or more. It can have Character Rush, which is solid. Then you got Luffy, which is a 9 cost if you have a 1 or less life, which is insane because you just play it the next turn. And then you can trash a card from your hand. Now your leader's a 9k until the end of your opponent's next turn, 7 on your turn. and it gets blocker until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it stops an attack on your opponent's next turn. The thing that's going to be like a 9k, you can just free block. And now it's a 12k every turn. So in this deck, it's better than Zoro, which is crazy to me, because Zoro's an insane card. I think Zoro's a stupid card. This is one of the best red cards that's ever been printed. And yet this Luffy, specifically in this deck, is better, which is weird to say, and doesn't feel right. Because this is such an overstated SR, but yet this secret rare, I disrespected the secret rare so much when it first came out. All I loved about it was the art, and now I love the art. It's some of my favorite art in the game, but on top of that, it's just such a stupid card in this deck. It's insane. But so that's the deck. Basically, you want to search, be able to get these, play these as often as possible, and have some defense when you need it to ensure that your opponent doesn't kill you or your board before you kill them. Pretty simple. It's a super fun deck. If you're going to play Bonney, yeah, it's going to take a while to do, but this is a good place to start. Practice with it on the sim, see if you like it, tweak the ratios, slowly build your way, work your way towards building Bonney, and then have an absolute blast, because this deck is so fun to me. Out of all the decks that I have played in this set, this is one of the most fun, which is saying something, because I've played so many fun decks. But I just love this deck. And I'm going to stop yapping. Let's dive into some games and see just how well this deck can do into the top meta, because it does a little bit better than you might think. Going up against Enel, the menace of the meta himself. What are they going to do? Go first? Never would have seen that one coming. I'm not against this hand, but I'm not necessarily for it either. This is better, because we at least have a Zoro, and we have a Borsellino now too, so it works out. Alright, we'll play a Nami to start things off. They do nothing on their first turn, that's awesome. I mean, we get the Luffy. We get the Luffy every time. I'll just stack it like that. And then take a little peek. Egghead cards. What should we do? Get Sanji? So we have a play for next turn? Yeah, let's do that. That would be nice, the Bonney, but at the same time, it's nothing insane. Should I take... They'll be able to swing with maybe 2 things next turn. It doesn't matter. I'm going to take. I'm going to be aggressive. I don't know if that's necessarily the right play or not, but that's what I'm going to do, because why not? And if we need to heal, we do have Borsellino, so that's something to think about on our 6th Dawn turn. Okay, Enel's just drawing really bad, apparently. What are they doing? They're just gonna go 9 in life? Sure. I'm perfectly fine with this. What is going on here? Hey, we got a raw heat strike. That's gonna be pretty good. That's gonna be pretty good here in a second. I'll say that much. So we're not going to take. What we're going to do is we're going to send 5. And we're going to play Sanji. Then next turn we'll play Borso. And have up a raw heat strike in case it is needed. I don't know. Let's just get a Luffy, right? Yes. Let's just get Luffy. And we'll put those back on bottom. And pass to the opponent. So we got plenty of ways to make our leader into an Infinity K. Into a 9K. And so far they have not taken any. Which is honestly kind of fine with me. I'd rather get rid of as many cards from Enel as possible. From the Enel hand as possible. But maybe that's just me. Okay, so they got a Shura. That could be annoying. But there's no Enel coming down. That's the nice thing. Okay, you're playing Reiju. I don't really care. I mean, it's fine against the, what's it called decks. the Luna decks, but I don't really care that much. Okay, and you're gonna go 6, and what? Okay, well, I was pretty sure I already knew what you were gonna do, but yeah. Alright, so I'll give you a 2K. And then what? You'll go 7. Yep, take. No trigger. Maybe I should have let that first one come through, because then I'd go down to 1 and I'd only get rid of a 1K. That's probably a mistake on my part. Sorry about that, everybody. But don't be too pissed at me, okay? Alright, we got a lot of bricks in hand. So we're gonna go digging with this card in a second. First things first, we're gonna go 2 into your 1 vassal. See if the opponent does anything about it. If they counter, great. Okay. Then we'll just give that -1. Because why not? Go 5 into life. See what the opponent does about that. Okay. I will take that. Got a 2K out of their hand. They're countering? I mean, I guess they don't go down cards in hand, but at the same time, like, what? Seems strange. I'm gonna play this. Do not get a 2K. We do get a Borsalino, so we can... What's more valuable here? I'm just gonna get Borsalino. And then I will play the Borsalino. And then I will pass. So I have a blocker, in case that matters. And they have an Enel? Hopefully not. But we can hope that they don't have the Enel. So far they're drawing really weird. And I'm not saying that we're not drawing weird. We're getting everything we need. We're doing exactly what the deck is supposed to, which is search and have all the ways to make our leader as big as possible, which is exactly what we want to see. This double attack isn't going to really matter after this turn, so that's nice. Opponent's going to go big number. And if they do that, fine. I'll take. I am not going to use the trigger on that. If this was later in the game, maybe. But right now, it's going to be better as a 2K. That might not necessarily be the correct play, but I don't care. That really sucks. You're gonna... Okay. You're gonna go a very big number. 9 into 7. Maybe I should have countered. Why is the opponent... I mean, I kind of get it. Sort of. I mean, I'll counter now because I can. Maybe I should have countered with the board. No, I'm not going to counter with the Borsalino. No way. No way I counter with the Borsalino. I mean, they got their blocker rested, which is nice. Free Sanji? Fine. That's fine with me. I'm just gonna get rid of this Reiju next turn, and you won't have much of a board state, which, great. I love that. That'll be cool. And then what? Okay, gonna pass. I have 2 1Ks to my name. Let's play Zoro. Make our leader big. Give minus to Reiju, because why not? And go... Let's just starve them. 7 into 4. And then just start playing big monster after big monster after big monster. And then just make it so that they can never hit us. Because now we're at 9K. I mean, there's... Because they don't have any Enels down yet, there's nothing on their board that can hurt us. Unless they commit a lot of Dawn to the Holy. Which even then, like, not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. We're just going to be able to slowly but surely starve them every single turn. Okay, got a Gamma Knife on the Borsalino. Maybe I should have blocked with Borsalino last turn. Yeah, I should have blocked with Borsalino last turn. At least I'm getting resources out of their hand. That's what I'll take. They're down 2 cards in hand because of that, because Elthor doesn't draw him a card. And they're playing Pudding? Fine. I mean, it's not necessarily the greatest card, because it gets them one of their good events, like Lightning Dragon, but at least it's not Enel. Okay, so they have 3 cards in hand, which is very, very few. They can't hit our life, realistically. I mean, technically they can. Technically they can. If they put every single one of their Dawn... Okay, so they're just gonna... You can't... Oh, no, this is a... Yeah, no, never mind. They just can't hurt me right now. Why'd they put the Dawn on Enel? Does the opponent not know how Bonney works? I'm just gonna go with that assumption, that they just don't know how Bonney works. So... I'm gonna give a minus to the dog. I'm gonna play a big old Luffy. Get rid of Zoro because I don't really need him at this point, at this stage in the game. I'll go 7 and a 5. I mean, they can counter if they want. I would love that. And then I'll go 9 and a life. And I will pass with a blocker so that the opponent just cannot hurt me. Do they just not run an L? Do they just not run an L? Like, what's going on here? Where is an L at? Sure, I don't care about anything you're doing right now because I'm too big for any of the go-wide stuff to matter. Why do you keep putting Dawn on an L on your leader? Just put it all on the Holly to at least get a 1k out of my hand. But, I mean, I'm going to be able to block freely no matter what you do this turn, so it doesn't really matter. Sure. I'll block. Like, what are you supposed to do? Are you gonna Lightning Dragon Sanji again? Oh, you're actually gonna go into Sanji. Do I even care? I don't really care. So I'm just gonna let him go. And it's a 5k body. It's fine. But, like, they've put a lot of resources into it, so sure. Whatever. Alright, so let's just give that minus 1k because we can. Play another Luffy. Get rid of what? We don't necessarily need... No, it'd be nice to have that Bonney. We don't necessarily need this raw Heat Strike. That might not be the right play. But... You know what? I'm going to get rid of Bonney. I don't care. I don't think we're going to need it. So this is a 5k. Sure, 7 and a 5. Why not? Why not, right? Because we got 2 swings into their life. Might as well keep their boards as small as possible. Make it as hard as possible for them to develop a threat. You can block, but then you have... Yep. Cool. Now I'm a 9k again. And I have a blocker again. And I'm going to do the same thing next turn. This is why I like this. There's an L. Not the blocker Enel, which is what you would prefer here, but it is an Enel. It is an Enel, I can say that much. And I'll have the free block of this Luffy next turn for this Enel, and I could let this Luffy go. Or I could protect it. I could technically do either. So that's cool. Or I could honestly take the life, because I'm basically going to go one more turn, and get him down to... Technically, I could win next turn. Realistically, I could win next turn. And I could, like, I'll probably do that, but it's funny to extend, because I hate this deck. It's, like, the least fun purple deck, so I kind of want to bully it. Don't, like, that sounds horrible, and I kind of don't care, but, you know? So what are you doing here, opponent? Are you gonna go a big number with your blocker? Because you can. It's not gonna accomplish anything, but you can. Please do that. Oh, opponent. Opponent, please, just concede now if you're gonna swing with this Sanji. I sound so full of myself right now, and I mean, yeah. Okay, so 11k with Sanji? Are you not gonna swing with Sanji? Because honestly, you shouldn't swing with Sanji. I'll have 4 swings next turn, and all my Dawn. You're not gonna live. I'm just gonna say that. You're not living through next turn. So that's cool. Okay, and you just conceded the game. So thank you. I appreciate that. I kind of want to win with this Nami, but I'm not gonna do that. 2, 4, and 1. So I'd get rid of pretty much their entire hand. So let's go. Let's start with 9 into life. If they take it, awesome. We can go 12 and 12 and 15, and there's no way they can live. Absolutely no way they can live. If they do counter, then we can. Okay, cool. Go 12. Take it. 2, 4, 6, 8. I mean, you could technically counter out of this. But yep, okay. Cool. 22. Good game. I hate Enel. I am so glad I beat Enel. Oh, that was so beautiful. Let's get into another game, because this wasn't the greatest showcasing of Enel, but let's bully some other top-tier decks. Alright, we can take first from Lucy. Love to see that. We got a Searcher. We got Borsalinos. I'm gonna mulligan it, though, because... Nope, didn't find what I wanted. Did not find what I wanted. I wanted at least one. If I had 2 Searchers, fine. Do I take? This early, do I take? Sure. Ooh, that was good. That was good. Alright, take that. That was a giant risk. I don't care. And I pass. Let's go. Also, every single Sentomaru was basically at the top of the deck, so I want to put that into note. What they get? What are they getting? Okay, just watch me, Ace. Fine. Oh, I love where this is going. Let's start with the 6. Go 6. See what the opponent does about that. They take. Okay. Play that out and pass. This turn they'll probably play Memento. Oh. No Memento Cavendish. Alright. Fully just Leo. Okay. Solid 2k. You're playing it. Okay. I don't remove your stuff, but sure. I take. Oh, yes. This is good. See, this is good. This is good. I will not take. I will just go 5. I don't know. Okay, opponent's just gonna counter. And play that out. Get. That Bonney could be really nice. This is Straw Hat Crew, though. But he can get himself. So at least there's that. It wasn't a whiff. Ooh, that was almost very bad. So So we got some 1Ks. We got some 1K counter events. We got all the ways to become an Infinity K. I will counter with a Sanji, because I would rather not, dang it, bottom deck Sanji. I mean, sure. I'm not absurdly sad about that. Yes, it gets rid of my 5K, but at the same time, we know they have Just Watch Me, so they could, next turn, play Sabo, or Just Watch Me Ace into Sabo Barrier Pistol and get rid of my Zoro, which I would hate way more. Okay, so I'm at 7. Let's... What does this care about? Just your leader gets. Okay, cool. I'm gonna take... Probably should have... Did I take the last one last turn? Yeah, I did. So I went down 1K in hand for no reason. That sucks. That sucks. That's my mistake. That's my bad, everybody. So next turn I'll probably Zoro into these two. I didn't have to take. No, no. I did, so that I would be a 9K. That's why I did that. Okay. Get a counter, and then counter again. You don't want to go down the 2 life opponent? Are you sure? You can if you want. I'd be fine with that. I'd be perfectly fine. Okay. Cool. You got rid of a Fire Fist. Probably the best card in your deck against me. They're gonna do the barrier pistol thing now. Gosh dang it. See, that's what I was talking about last turn. At least it wasn't... That sucks. That sucks so much. Gosh dang it. And that's perfect math, too. So, darn it. We have Raw Heat Strikes. We have Distorted Future. It's fine. We can just do this. Give that +2. Can give that -1, even though that doesn't really matter. And can go... Actually, it does matter. 7 and a life. Opponent, block. And then we can Roanoa Zoro and attack that. And it'll be harder for you to defend that. So actually, block, opponent, please. Please do block. Please block. I would love it if you blocked. Dang it. And I think I'm going to leave both of these Dawn up. Be super defensive. And then I'll pass. The unfortunate thing here is that we only have 1 Luffy in hand. Which is unfortunate. And they drew the freaking Fire Fist. This is not optimal. Probably should have played Nami last turn, all things considered. Sure. No blocker. Play Raw Heat Strike. Give this +2. Give this -2. So that this can't attack. For sure. Like, no possible way. Okay. Let's play Big Luffy. Trash a card from hand. Let's trash Sentomaru. And go... I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Maybe the opponent forgets to block for some reason. I don't know why they would forget to block. They took? Cool. Why? Sure, pass. Why did the opponent do that? Okay, resting it on for what? Playing another Rebecca. Gonna do something along the lines of that. Why did the opponent not block there? I'm very confused. Okay, so they're playing that. Get Fire Fist. That sucks because they're gonna play Sabo into Fire Fist. So I can't block with Luffy. That's unfortunate. Or are they just gonna play Fire Fist by itself? Because they're gonna play the Fire Fist. Okay, they have the Sabo too. That sucks. And then they're gonna minus the Luffy. That sucks. That sucks a lot. Or they can minus the Zoro. Sure. Sure. Why are they doing that? Uh-huh. I can block. I should have played Nami last turn too. Or they can attack with that. Okay, sure. I'll counter. Since I don't have a... Well... I'll actually counter with Sentomaru. Okay. I mean, it's still fine to... I'm just confused. I'm just confused. Okay, they're going to put the Dawn on Rebecca, I would assume. Okay, and then they pass. Alright, let's Nami. Come on. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. That sucks. What does Bonney do? If you have 2 or more lives, so I cannot take for free. That's unfortunate. But I can get Raw Heat Strike, which is very good. Oof. Oof, 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 oof. Let's play it like we do still have the thing, though. Let's start off with... I kind of have to worry about these Sabos to a point. But I just don't know. No, I can't. I just can't. I can't. Why are they taking it? 1, 2, 3. Need to leave up 3 Dawn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And an 11. They'll probably block with Rebecca, but sure. Does the opponent not know how blockers work? Like, what are they doing? Whoops. Alright, well, the opponent forgot to block. We had the Bonney trigger, which could have rested a Sabo. Now, the opponent goofed this game. I am going to show this game because... Okay, well, there was a Zoro on top. I am going to still show this game, even though the opponent goofed. But even with what they had in their hand next turn, they couldn't... They probably would have gone for game that turn. And if that's the case, I had a blocker, 2 2Ks in these counter events. A blocker and all that. And this could trigger to rest a Sabo or anything they hold up. And I just don't think that I could lose this game, even if the opponent blocked with the Rebecca and, you know, got to live to next turn. I believe that they could not have won that game. So, it's a weird win, but I did win. And let's get into another game. Going up against the yellow Luffy, who is gonna go second. Please, 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 please. Come on, opponent, go second. No, they went first. Dang it. I got a Searcher, I got Luffy, I got Borsalino. I will keep. I think this hand's pretty solid. I have... Ooh, now I have 2 Searchers. Alright, let's start off with Nami. Get Zoro. Get Zoro every time, right? Yeah, get the Zoro. Just put the rest of those on bottom. Play Bonney. Ooh. What do I get? Do I get another Zoro? Or do I get Sentomaru? I think I'm just going to have a slightly clunky next turn and guarantee I have as many of the ways to make my leader a 9k as possible. And then I will pass. So yeah, it's going to be a little weird, but I don't care. Oh, trigger? I'm actually not going to use that trigger so I can have a play for next turn. Cool. I love everything that is going on right now. Let's go 5 into life. See what the opponent does about that. And play that. It's got to be a Straw Hat card, which can include himself. I think I'm just going to get the 2k, because that's nice. And then, I don't take here, right? No, I don't take here. They'll swing at me next turn, and I can take a life if need be. Calgara. Crap. Do I let them get a card? Sure. Not that I necessarily want them to, but it's fine, I guess. Because I also kind of want a Borsalino. Or wait. Yeah, I'm at 6 Dawn. Crap. Let's go ahead then. I'd have 1 Dawn up. Let's start with 5 into life. Go 5 into life. Are they gonna counter? Are they not gonna counter? They're countering pretty heavily right now, which I'm pretty happy about. Let's play Borso, gain a life, and then pass. If the opponent's gonna be a little tanky, we can be a little tanky too for a second. Okay. Cool. Gonna play... No, they're not going to. Okay, sure. And go 5 into 6 into 3. Not a fan of that. I can go 5 into 3. This can only counter for leader. Yeah, alright. I'll let that resolve, so the opponent will be inclined to come into life. Sure, no block and take. I'm just gonna... use that trigger. Sweet, draw 2k. You can see against them, that's not super valuable, since they have that stupid 5-cost Luffy that's insane, and broken, and busted, and all that kind of whatnot. Zoro's... okay, 8k. Yeah. Take life. Go 5 into 5. I mean, they can take life, but, you know, maybe I get a card out of their hand, which is what I would prefer. I don't know. I know that they can take a life, but, you know, I don't care. This deck is just, like, a pain in the tush. So, don't come at me. They do counter. I'll take that. Play a Zoro. Make my leader into a 9k. Baby, let's go. Let's go. Super happy about that. Love to see it. We're just going to be a 9k now for the rest of the game, because next turn we're going to Big Luffy, and then next turn Big Luffy, and then next turn Bonney, and win. So it's awesome. It's incredible. I don't know what the opponent's gonna do here, honestly. Alright, I can give him a 1k. What 1k do I want to give? I can just give Sentomaru. Yeah, I'll just give a Sentomaru 1k. I'm fine with that. And then what? You got 7 Dawn? What are you gonna do with 7 Dawn? Playing our Robin? Robin into the Rush Luffy? That does nothing? Oh, no, you're just gonna go 9 again. I can give you no blocker, but I will give you a 1k. Then what? You gonna go 9 again? 10 or 9? Sure. Probably should've... No, because I don't have that. 2k, 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 2k. I will give them a 2k. Not that I want to, but I will. Woof. That kind of sucks, actually. Alright. Well, let's give -1 to that, even though it doesn't really matter. And then we will play a big Luffy. Get rid of Zoro. Send 7 into life. And then 9 into life. Okay. What are you gonna get off the Shura trigger? Off the search? You get your 5 cost? No, just getting a Enel. So that will probably be the thing that they swing with next turn, in which case I'm fine with that. And opponent takes. It's another Shura. And what do they get? Luffy. Big ol' Luffy. Not necessarily the thing I want to see. Okay, Enel. Kinda sucks. Why does that... Oh, you gave arrested through the wiper. Never mind. Opponent? Sure. I will give you a 2k. Why didn't they do the one attacking? Beats me. Let's... They have 9 cards in hand. We have a blocker. Let's just play in our Luffy. I think we can safely get rid of this other Luffy. And then start with... None of these are blockers, but whatever. Go 7 into life. Opponent takes, counters, who knows. Okay. Go 9 into life. Opponent takes. Okay. Opponent takes. Alright. Well, next turn, we're likely going to be able to live. They're going to heal with Enel, which kind of sucks, but it's okay. Because we'll be able to rip them with the Bonney. Ah, Borso. That sucks. Now, this is why Sanji's going to come in clutch. Now, are they going to play the other Luffy, or are they going to play in their Borso? Because if they play in their Borso, that's going to suck. That's going to suck a lot. Okay, they played Luffy. Not that that necessarily is going to do a lot. Okay, because they don't have another Borso, I think we can still live, or win next turn. Okay, let's block and give them a... Give them a 2k. Counter, no block. Counter, counter. To keep it alive. Okay. So they have a Borsalino, which is unfortunate. Give -1 to the Borsalino. Let's start with 5 in a life. See what the opponent does. Get a card out of their hand. I think we win this turn still. I don't know how we don't. Come on. Okay. Bonney. I think I'll go 2, 4, 6. So let's go 1 Dawn on Bonney and go 11. Okay, they block 12. 12, and that should be game. And if they counter, we got Borsalino. Oh, baby! Whoo! That was actually a little too close for comfort. That was a little too close for comfort there near the end. But we beat, in my opinion, the top 3 decks in the meta right now with Bonney, because consistency with this deck is insane. Being able to make your leader a 9k every single turn while developing a big body turns out pretty powerful. And your opponent can't touch you. Literally. I mean, yeah, I went down cards in hand over time, but they never touched my board. And once I got down to 1 life, I never lost a life afterwards. Yes, we went up against some opponents who were kind of, I don't even know, but I think that kind of goes to demonstrate how good this Bonney deck is, because, well, 1, people aren't generally going to go up against the best of whatever players in the world, but I love this Bonney deck. I think it does so much, it's so good in so many ways, and it is, to me, one of the most fun decks I've played in this entire set. And that's saying something, because there's been a lot of fun decks in this set that I've played around with. And Bonney is just an absolute hoot. Like, because of this list that I've discovered, I think that just, I'm slowly going to work my way towards potentially building this deck in real life. Because I started the anime around Egghead. And I just kind of started my One Piece journey around Egghead, so it just holds a special place in my heart. So this will kind of be my Egghead deck that I'll eventually build over time. It's gonna take a while. I'm gonna take a couple of months to do it, but whatever. But I hope that you all enjoyed this video, because I think this deck's an absolute blast. So check out the rest of my OP15 series linked right here, because there's a ton of other super fun decks that we play with. Check out my OP15 pack opening series right here. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, it's completely free, no regrets, and see you all next time.